Yeah. So follow Nino The Baker on Instagram. We got to figure out how we're getting stuff from you up here for the final. We've got to do something. We have to do something.
Something. We'll figure it out, man.
We've got to get it. So if we start thinking about it now, we can figure out flights and then figure out how it gets from there to Orlando in time for the final, like the final. And then that way we have the Nino The Baker experience for the final. So we got to figure this out. And we got to figure out the Orlando part and start thinking about it now before, because if we're going to do this for the final, we got to figure out what can travel. We've got to figure out how it can travel. Obviously, your buddy, the pilot, can keep the contraband.
Yeah, we get all the way to Orlando from here. We got that part.
Right. So we got to get it from Orlando in late July, from Orlando to here, so we can have it for the final. That is going to be my new goal. We've got to get something from you that preserves well, and it might.
I think chocolate cake is the best one. The best one to travel. It's the best one.
So if we get a couple of the chocolate cakes in a cooler with your buddy, the pilot, and can get it from there to Orlando and figure out the Orlando part on Wednesday. No, I'm not. But
I love this, man.
But I'm serious. Like I said, this is my Adam's ribs from MASH, man. This is what this is. So, all right. So, God, this is driving me crazy. This is where I keep my calendar, by the way. Well, but the thing is, because when you plan something that's this big, you've got to have. All right. So here's everything that we're doing in June.
Nice.
That's June. That is like remotes, morning shows, and the whole thing. So, so here's all right. So the final is July 19th.
Hey, Johnny, do you get your phone synced with the cup? No.
I don't get my phone's phone.
Look at that. You see? Hold on a second. Can you see it?
All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've got a spreadsheet. I've got Jason came up with the spreadsheet for all the matches. And I've got like the FIFA app and everything and all that kind of stuff. But no, I'm like the old dude at the bank when we're growing up. I've got to have it written down or I forget it.
Yeah.
So this is
man.
This is the target right here. So July 19.
Yeah.
Let's work backwards. So if it's going to be here for the final, then does that mean it's flying up the 18th? Is that how this works? Or is it flying
hold on a second, because usually it's Thursdays. I think he flies on Thursday. What day is that?
16th.
Hold on a second.
So if he flies up the 16th of July, if he flies up the 16th, so if he flies up the 16th of July, we've got to figure out how to get it from Orlando to here from the 17th of July. So basically, we've got, so when he lands on the 16th, we've got to figure out, okay, then the 17th would be the travel day to come back to Atlanta. So this is arriving the 16th in Orlando, and then driving it back, or however we're getting it back, on the 17th on that Friday. So that
I think I got somebody in Orlando who can, receive the cake in there and get it in the fridge, and then I guess somebody in Orlando.
Knowing me, what I'm probably going to do, since I'm that freaking insane, is I will probably try and fly down to Orlando myself. And then that way, literally, and I don't know if your friend flies commercial and goes into MCO or not, or if he is
he flies commercial, yeah.
Okay, so if he flies commercial into MCO, I would probably fly down on the 16th and then do the show remotely on the morning of the 17th and fly back with the stuff. So that would probably be how we do this. Okay.
All right.
If we work on a cooler or frozen stuff for the 16th arriving here at MCO on the 16th of July, then I would figure out how to get home on the 17th, and we hang on to it for the final on the 19th, and we have the unveiling there. So does that sound like a plan for you?
It sounds like a plan, yeah.
Okay. So All right. So that's what we'll work on. So whatever you need to do to put Nino the Baker goods in a cooler that leaves from Lima and comes to Orlando on the 16th of July.
Okay.
And then we'll figure then, like I said, knowing me, I'll probably fly down to Orlando because I got miles and I can do it. So fly down on the 16th, pick up the goods, fly home after I do the show on the 17th, and then we have it here for the party on the final on the 19th. Does that sound like a plan?
Sounds good. Sounds good to me, brother.
Oh, damn. I'm looking forward to this. Okay. So starting next week, it's going to be talking about World Cup and World Cup all the time. I love you very much, and I'm glad that we get to catch up the way that we do. All right. So, and this is David. I don't know if you've been looking at the Twitch pitch or not this morning.
No. But who's David?
But one of our Twitch pitchers, one of our A-listers, David, he said, you two together and the vibe is amazing. How many times have you actually hung out in person? And I told him,
0.
I said, never, because you went back home after you spent your time with crew. And so that's where we are. And so this is very humbling that David would say this. He says, I mean, we hang out every week. And he says, it's amazing you two aren't longtime buddies hanging out. We're great. We can't wait for and so David now wants the movie version of getting the gear. Well, but you know what?
We can
the way that social media works these days with Nino and Nino the Baker on the IG, he can sit there and he can do all of that stuff, get it to the airport, have his buddy do his part on the takeoff and everything. So Nino can do that part to get it on the plane. And then then whoever gets it, probably me, is there at MCO for the handoff, and then I can take the Nino the Baker goods. And I could go to the
I
hotel.
could do my body could get I don't know, get a few shots on in the cabin, right? In the cabin. This thing.
You got the cabin. You sit there,
that's gonna be amazing.
You look down, you sit there, and you see the cooler. No, that's easy. It's a social media thing. So that's what we'll do. Confirm that your buddy's flying up on the 16th or whatever, that Thursday before the World Cup.
I want to check with him right now.
Pack the cooler with Nino the Baker goods. Then we'll get it to Orlando. That's the easy part. Like I said, I'll probably fly down on the 16th because I got miles to do it. I'll meet him in MCO. We'll do the handoff. I will grab it. Then I'll do the show from a hotel room on Friday, fly home that Friday, and we'll have Nino the Baker goods for the final on the 19th. So that's the plan. Let me know if this changes between now and then.
Yeah.
And then we'll roll from there.
All right. Sounds good. It sounds like a fantastic plan, man.
Oh, I'm so jacked about this. All right. So when you come back next week, obviously we're going to talk about World Cup. It'll be match day 1. We'll get all serious and talk about things. Love you very much, my friend. Catch your breath. It's going to be a great run coming up over the next 7 weeks.
All right. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Oh, boy. All right. So now that's the game plan. We got it figured out. That's the game plan. So we have referenced and cross-referenced the calendar. If we can confirm Nino's pilot buddy comes in on Thursdays to MCO, that's the 3-letter abbreviation for the Orlando airport, which is in the bogs and the swamps, and you're hopscotching, and you're like a frog going from lily pad to lily pad, going from concourse to concourse. So that's the plan. We're going to get the Nino the Baker goods, pack them in a cooler, might be dry ice or something, then goes with his pilot buddy from Lima to Orlando on the 16th of July. We go and get it. Then the 17th, I do the show from Orlando, and then we end up bringing it back Friday morning or afternoon after the show. So it's probably Friday afternoon. Bring the cooler, and shoot, I might have to just drive a car considering the size of the cooler. So I don't know. I don't know how airlines are going to like having a cooler that might be taped or whatever, all to hell, and then you have TSA crack it open and everything and sit there and go, ooh, what's this? I might have to just rent a damn car. Because if I'm packing a cooler, I don't want TSA to open that thing. Because TSA would open it, and they'd sit there and go, ooh, hey, look at that. What's this? And then sit there and they poke and prod at it or whatever. No, I think probably what I'm going to do is, since I don't have a pilot buddy, I might fly down and drive back because of the size of the cooler. It might be done that way so it's not TSA'd and cracked open and they mess with the dry ice and the baked goods and everything. This might have to be driven back. So let's try that. That as I'm sitting here and I'm trying to hash out this plan, and I'm trying to minimize the opening of the cooler. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Nino's pilot buddy, that's the easy part because he's in charge of the plane. He knows what goes on it. All that's cool. I don't want TSA when it lands, short of when it lands, and obviously you've got to sit there and TSA opens it, but his pilot buddy's going to be there when it opens, when they sit there. Hey, this came in from Peru. What's this? Oh, it's chocolate cake, whatever. And then they're going to have to open it that one time and sit there and verify that, yes, it is in fact chocolate cake or whatever Nino packs into it. I don't want it opened every single step of the way without it being supervised. So what I'm going to probably do, fly down and drive it back. That is how serious we are about this. I'm not messing around. This is literally the Adam's Rib episode from MASH. Look it up. It's on YouTube. Hawkeye wanted Adam's ribs from Chicago. And what he did to get it is that whole episode. We're doing the same thing with Nino the Baker goods. So, I mean, it could be one of those long coolers, that's like maybe, 4 feet long or whatever. And could be one of those long coolers where it's got a bunch of stuff and packed to hell to dry ice. But I don't want it opened any more than it absolutely has to be. The supervisory part, when it comes from Lima to MCO, because his buddy's a pilot, he can watch. Because I imagine it's going to get cracked open. What's this, all this tape here? It's chocolate cake. Oh, we got to look at this, So I imagine that's what's going to happen. It's going to get cracked open that one time when he tries to bring it in and it lands in Orlando at MCO. Then we'll have to retape it and whatever, and I might have to buy some more dry ice when I meet the cooler and his buddy, the pilot, at MCO. So I think that's what we're going to have to do here, because I don't want that thing opened like more than once, because if I got on a plane, it's going to be checked again. TSA is going to crack it open again, and they're going to sit there and go, what's this? And you sit there and you go, oh, chocolate cake. They sit there and they open it up. Well, what's in? They're messing with the packing. They're messing with the aluminum foil. They're messing with all the stuff that's trying to keep it pristine. And if we can minimize the poking around, that probably means I'm flying down and driving back. So, I think that's what we're going to have to do to minimize the monkeying around with it. So I think that's where we are. All right. So that is I think that's the update.